Hey, what's up guys? Bob here, and welcome to another guide I'm drafting up for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and it's time to get incredibly specific. So, today we're going to be looking at Sparking Trunks. Yeah, I know this is really weird. So, first of all, Trunks here has a bit of a reputation for being a very strong Sparking character. If you're familiar with this game whatsoever, you know that he has insanely good mix-ups. Yeah, just a small sample. So, Trunks actually gets a lot of benefits off of Sparking. Probably more than a lot of characters in the game, actually. Like, maybe debatably more so than Super Saiyan Goku, even during Season 2. That's debatable, but it's whatever. Trunks is actually the exact reason I dropped Vegeta. Vegeta by himself is still good at Sparking, don't get me wrong, but I wanted Trunks because of the beam assist, and the fact that he is really good underneath it. Plus, I had dropped Zamasu for Kefla because, I mean, Zamasu Blades of Judgment is just not carrying him anymore, so yeah, had to make the call. Okay, so with that, I guess we can just get a general introduction underway. So, Trunks, under Sparking, he gets two really big things. Damage and mix-up. I know that says absolutely nothing, considering every character in this game gets, damage and mix-up underneath Sparking, but him more so than usual. In fact, people have said in the past that you're not blocking Trunks when he's under Sparking, and after having used them since about June, July, yeah, he's pretty good. For the record, I am still in the midst of learning Trunks. Like, I feel like I have a good grasp of him, but I haven't used him enough against other people to have a great opinion, but I think I have a strong enough grasp of the basics that I can kind of show off what he can do. Alright, so since we're going to be doing this with the assumption you're using as Sparking in anchor position, let's go ahead and kill off Cell and Gohan. So that way Trunks is by himself, he gets the extra power meter, and more importantly, his attack goes up by like 10 to 15%, some multiplier like that, and this is going to obviously go up with Sparking. So as just a first introduction, let's just go ahead and show off what Sparking does for his level 3. $62.88 for his level 3 super raw. That's a bit of a jump, considering that, I mean, if we look at him with actual characters on his team, still respectable, nearly 5k, but that is a significant jump of like 1400 points of damage for just doing a command grab level 3. Yeah, it's not too bad. And it gets even more insane when you do his, what I think is his optimal wall combo. I've seen people say it is, but I'm pretty sure you could probably take a higher with Sparking incorporated, or there's some better combo routes. I don't know. I'm just going to show it. $8,292. That is literally more than 4/5 of an opponent's life bar from doing an optimal combo in the corner against one character. Yeah, that's terrifying. And then for another damage comparison's sake, let's go ahead and do a regular, I think optimal meter burn combo out in the middle of a field with no level 1 super at the end of it. Assuming I can get this first try, that'd be nice. There we go, 64.85 with the meter burning extensions, and that is 2/3 of opponent's life bar. Yeah, no super attached, kinda good. And of course, this all goes hand in hand with the fact that, Trunks has naturally one of the most damaging level 3s in the entire game by himself. Like I said in the prior video for Spirit Bomb, it's still outdone by Spirit Bomb, but this is still pretty substantial. Like, this is, of course, with the bonuses of being last character on the team. It has a benefit going for it, but still pretty fucking good. 4,800 by itself. Right, and of course, also there's the usual neutral buffs where if you do any beam, you can go for Extender at the end of it and just get a full combo that way. Same as Super Saiyan Vegeta. Most characters can get this, pretty sure. I just feel like points out anyway because, I mean, on top of everything else, clipping your opponent, take off half their health, this is still pretty good. Also, like this for a change of future, kind of. 44-33 with slide knockdown. That's okay. Yeah, so the damage is pretty substantial, but even more substantial, I know it's shocking enough, is the mix-ups. Basically, Trunks turns from a pretty okay mix-up character with stuff like Change the Future backing him. Pretty good low-high mix-up for the most part, as well as the new mix-up flips that he has with Season 3. At least I think it was Season 3 got these. Yeah, this turns him into an absolute goddamn nightmare with high-lows, left-rights, reflect bait, dragon rush ups, etc. So let's go ahead and get into it. Right, so let's just go ahead and start from the beginning with relatively basic stuff. You know, well, I hope if I had the opponent guarding this, that'd be a good start. Alright, so the usual auto combo side switch. You probably know about this. You probably already know where this is going, but if you don't know where this is going, we're going to get some fun places. So, auto combo has a natural side switch built into it. And normally this might seem weird because, like, you usually are used to, like, if someone does an auto combo, like Dragon Rush at the end of it, that's still not bad. But remember what I said about Change the Future being able to, if you hold down the special button, you can cancel it. And you can let it rip whenever you want to. So, basically that brings with it, again, this is super basic Trunks non-sparking stuff, but I have to bring this up because it leads into it. You can essentially get free left-right mix-ups. Well, kind of. It's not really a full left-right. You kind of can see this coming, but with the mental plus frames you make from the opponent having to see Trunks just rush in, and plus he can just go for this at any given time, or, you know, this. Yeah, it becomes a lot more scary, or you can do that. I didn't even think about that before. I just made that one up. Okay. Now, first layer. This is able to beat out... Well, let's just go ahead and get into sparking. Why not? So first layer. This by itself is able to beat out reflect attempts or Silver Dragon Rush. Not really too special. I mean, you could probably guess that just from a glance. It gets a little more ambiguous when you like are able to mix up this. Huh, you can't do it on the second hit. Interesting. Yeah, that gets a little finicky to see, especially when the opponent is like fully tilted and you do a handful of these. This is theoretical. There's nothing guaranteeing this, but it's more an idea. But yeah, that's just like one layer right there. And of course, if the opponent tries hammering reflect, which they are ought to do, especially against Trunks under sparking, you have ample time to punish, pretty much. Like, you're right in your opponent's face, you can just do it. Especially if you introduce this to the mix, they're probably going to want to go for it, you know, so on. Now, here's where the shit gets absolutely nuts. Layer 2. With this, you can do a jump cancel afterwards. I was trying to see if I could do 5S at the end of it, can't. But you can jump cancel this. What gets even crazier is that you can time it such that you're able to left right change, like no delay. You can just stay same side, delay a little bit, you're able to pop at the other side, and so on. You need to actually let it go through, but that was, yeah, that's pretty tricky. Now, next layer, doing this. Now you have a mix up, and you have a left right mix up, and you also have a high low mix up essentially. It's not really real because, I mean, the opponent can reflect this and that'll probably be their first instinct, but still not too shabby. Side switch again. Same side. I mess up, but you know, this gets so fast that even like semi-proficient players can't actually drop this. So let that be a testament to how strong this can get. And of course, this doesn't have to stop here. You know, again, let's reintroduce Dragon Rush. You know, bring that back in as a potential element. Gets a little hard to see after a while. Now, where it gets a little fucky is reflect. However, like I said, you have ways of mitigating this. Yeah, essentially what you want to do is like a really low jump to the ground. Like, you really want this to be a pretty razor thin, but yeah, if your opponent does reflect, unless they do something actually against it, like maybe, I don't think they have enough time to 2H, honestly. I think Cell could maybe do kickflips out of this. It's possible, but again, if you're to do this, it's really hard to see, and, you know, just pace yourself, and yeah, you can always bait reflect, so pretty solid stuff. And of course, this is one of the reasons why your opponent really does want to do reflect out of this, because otherwise they're going to be stuck eating this for hours. Well, not really, you know, until the end of sparking, but seemingly for hours. You know, with the constant threat of high-lows between everything going on. Yeah, your opponent is really going to want to hammer reflect in order to just get out of jail free. I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. No, thank you. If they have a DP, they can also do that, but that's a case-by-case basis. But yeah, essentially, you're able to do instant air dash off of this, which is part of the reason why that fuels this whole left-right mix-up game. Yeah, and as I was showing earlier, inadvertently, is that if you delay a little bit, you can also do cross-ups. I'm not too proficient with left-right mix-ups myself, or at least manually, so if you want to try this out yourself, you can. But you can just immediately slide over your opponent doing this. Sometimes you want to, sometimes you don't. It really depends on the timing. This does require a lot of technical manual skill in order to do, but if you do inadvertently end up on the other side of your opponent, let's say you want to. Maybe something like that. I mean, it's not an overhead. I'm not good at landing this overhead jump, but it's a pretty fucking good start. So that is what, layer 2, I think. Yeah, with this is like the big thing that bolsters your jump canceling. We'll go over more things you can do with standing 5S later, but for the time being, yeah, pretty good. And of course, with sparking, as you usually get the. Let me get him to stop reflecting that, actually, so he can actually sit there and take it. Usual mix up between, 2M, 6M into instant air dashes. It's not really an unseeable mix up because, universal overhead is 24 frames, and Trunks doing this short hop here to doing this is generally pretty seeable. There's only like a handful of characters in the game who have a pretty, like, ambiguous looking overhead. This is not one of them. I mean, take it for what you will. It's not that's not a horrid option, but you do want to factor it in when you're going for your your high-low mix-ups on top of your left-rights. Okay, so as you probably know, you can jump cancel your 5S moves with a jump cancel into whatever you want, right? Okay, so with Trunks, you're able to do this especially, and considering the fact that if I set him to reflect, this whole block string jails. It's actually amazing. Pretty good stuff. Literally everything up until like here, pretty much jails. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you can do 5H and 5S and it jails. And then you can do whatever the hell you want, etc, etc. So this is really good. Now, if your opponent is particularly tilted and they're not doing anything, same as before. This isn't really like a true loop, because obviously they can reflect this, but if they only do like a single reflect, the trick is Trunks' limbs, especially with like auto combo, he's kind of what people call reflect proof. It's not a true thing, it's essentially like, if your opponent does reflect you, let me go ahead and get this. Yeah, as you can see, the second hit of auto combo on him pretty closely gets me in there. Yeah, so if they wanted to whiff punish, it'd be extremely difficult because this has huge reach, this is moderately good reach, this is really good reach. So, yeah, as a result, Trunks is a natural built-in defense against auto hammering reflects, essentially. It's not guaranteed, but hey, it's a pretty solid option, especially when you're able to just kind of loop pressure if your opponent is unwilling to or unknowledgeable of the fact that, hey, you can reflect this. Pretty solid stuff. Okay, and where it gets particularly dumb is when you start incorporating this move. You know, the new really good 214H, of course, to go back heavy flip kick, because it has the really good drifting on it. It just kind of goes everywhere. You probably already know about this. This is basic Trunk stuff. Same side, mix up. Same side, mix up, mix up, mix up. I messed it up. But yeah, this is still really good by itself. And of course, when you start incorporating it off of, you know... Can you tell where he's going? I don't really know. Yeah. Essentially, your opponent has... If you are a robot, you're able to essentially put your opponent into constant guesses between left-right mix-ups with, like, this. High-low mix-ups, which if you're proficient, you can do like this. That low part is a little bit on the slow side, so your opponent can, like, auto-time it, like, hold back for a certain amount of time, and then once he's firmly on the ground, react to this. So it's not foolproof, but I mean, it's definitely gonna bait some stuff. That's for damn sure. People are gonna really want to 2H you have this. If you space it well, yeah, that becomes a non-factor. And another added benefit about this actually is, and I just realized this when I was getting ready to court too. So you probably know how this move is now +2, right? Let me see if I can get him to not reflect that, to actually show the right frame data. Okay, so 236M to make it actually somewhat worth using. Unlike its brothers, a light version and heavy version, which are -5, this is +2, which means that you're able to, you're at +2, meaning that anything you do will be 2 frames faster than the opponent. So like, this is 6 frames. Goku's jab is 6 frames, like so. So if you both mash jab, which is something you want to do if you're being frame trapped, you'll always lose, or rather the opponent will always lose. 6 frames is the fastest time for a jab to come out, and since you know you're harassing the fuck out of the opponent with this shit, you can get away with some stuff. And added bonus is that this is indeed a true overhead. The only thing that sucks though is that this move is incredibly slow. Like, let me see if I can do this adequately. Yeah, the fastest it can come out from what I can see is like 32 frames, which is kind of bad. That's like Zamasu's command grab levels of bad. Like, that's 30 frames, this is 32. But that being said though, if you do cover yourself, if like Trunks is not the last one for some bizarre reason, you can use this to approach from the air. This is hypothetical stuff, this is getting into stuff that's not sparking related, but it is there. If the opponent is very tilted and very defensive, you can use this to open them up, so that's really good. And a friendly reminder that all these sparking options with Trunks is of course backed by, you know, the really, really good damage buff he gets. So for example, oops, you just ended up taking a Dragon Rush and you're close to a corner and you just lost about half your life. Well over half actually, so yeah, this is all very good. Sad thing though is that when Trunks does eventually run out of sparking, because it'll last a good while since he's the last character on the team and everything, so that's good, but the fact that he is the last one, when it does eventually run out, Trunks' mix-ups really take a bad hit. Like, he can still do stuff, granted, like it's not that he's completely neuter or anything, but he loses their crazy bullshit. He's able to still bait like reflects and stuff. That's where I feel like Trunks' big strengths lie, with being able to like bait defensive options like reflect, or be able to get like easy left-right mix-ups. Like probably more so than Hit actually. Hit used to be pretty good at left-right mix-ups. I feel like Trunks is better than him honestly. But yeah, all that compounded, I just feel like Trunks gets more for just making the opponent make mistakes. I mean, you could say about any fighting game character really, but I feel like him especially with this. And you know, his complete fuck neutral button, so yeah. Alright guys, with that, hope you learned a thing or two. Trunks under sparking is absolutely horrifying. And I guess one thing I do want to mention is that obviously when under sparking and you're the last one on your team, Trunks is going to get a lot of meter really fucking fast. I just got, what, 2, almost 3 bars off of 1 Dragon Rush and like a super basic combo. Yeah, like 2 3/4 pretty much, 2 2/3. I'll be generous, but yeah, if you're ever worried about your meter expenditure, don't really be. It's not. It's kind of a non-factor, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, but still pretty strong. So yeah, hope you learned a thing or two. Trunks is really good. You should try him out.